Imagine you live in a beaver economy. You have 10 logs. You worked all day for those logs, so naturally, they're yours. But then the government shows up and says, "Give me two." You look at them and think, why? The government says, taxes. So, what exactly is a tax? A tax is money that the government collects from people and businesses. The government then uses that money to pay for things that society needs. Things like roads, schools, hospitals, police, public transport, and a bunch of other things you probably don't think about every day. But let's go back to our beavers. Imagine there are 10 beavers, and every beaver earns 10 logs. That's 100 logs in the entire economy. The government needs some of those logs to pay for public services, so it takes 20%. Every beaver gives the government 2 logs. Now the government has 20 logs, and the beavers have 80. But how does the government actually get your logs? Well, there are different types of taxes. One of the most common is an income tax. This is a tax on the money you earn. So if you earn more money, you may pay more tax. For example, if a beaver earns 100 logs and the tax rate is 20%, the government takes 20 logs and the beaver keeps 80. But income tax isn't the only type. There's also sales tax. This is a tax added when you buy something. Imagine you walk into a lumber store and find a beautiful log for $10. You take it to the counter and the shopkeeper says, "That'll be $11." You say the log was $10 and he says, "Tax. That extra dollar is the sales tax." There are also taxes on things like property. So if you own a house or land, the government may charge you a property tax. And then there are taxes on specific products like fuel, cigarettes, or alcohol. These are often called excise taxes. So why doesn't the government just make all the money itself? Because governments need resources to provide services, and taxes are one of the main ways they get those resources. But here's the important part. Taxes aren't just about collecting money. They can also change people's behavior. For example, a government might put a higher tax on cigarettes to make them more expensive. The idea is that if something costs more, people might buy less of it. Taxes can also be used to encourage certain things, like giving tax benefits for businesses that invest in certain areas. So taxes can do more than just pay for roads and schools. But taxes also have a downside. When the government takes some of your money, you have less money to spend yourself. So governments have to decide how much tax should people pay. Too little, and there might not be enough money for public services. Too much, and people have less money left over to spend, save, or invest. So taxes are basically a trade-off. You give some of your money to the government, and the government uses it to fund things that are supposed to benefit society. So next time you get taxed, remember the beavers. You worked for your logs, but apparently the government wants some too. This is Beavonomics, and yes, even beavers pay taxes.